Hi second graders, welcome to your second reading lesson. Today we're going to talk about summarizing. And when you make a summary, it's kind of a shorter way to tell the whole story without having to say all the words of the story. So this week we're talking about one of my favorite books, A Bad Case of Stripes by David Shannon. It's one of my favorites because I think it teaches you a good lesson about not worrying about what others think of you so much and kind of doing your own thing, and it's okay to be different. And hopefully you're also going to try some lima beans. So you read this or you listened to the story yesterday. Also, before you did this lesson, you were supposed to listen to the story again to make sure it's in your brain for your work that we're going to do together today. So we are going to switch over to my document camera and we are going to do a little work together. And then after we do our little mini lesson here together, you'll have an assignment to complete on your own. Now I'll give you some more details about that at the end of this video. All right, switch into my document camera. All right, and we're back. So the first thing I'm going to give you is this poster that talks about summary. A summary retells the important events of the story in a much shorter version. So sometimes if you read a really cool book and someone said, "Hey, what's that book about?" and you wanted to tell them what that book was about, but you didn't want to bore them to death with a half an hour story about it, what you're going to do is give them a summary. And sometimes kids are really good at this and some picking out the important events, and sometimes kids just think that they have to tell everything. So that's why we teach you how to write a good summary. A good summary is not too short, but not too long either. It's kind of like Goldilocks. It needs to be just right. So a summary retells the important events of the story in a much shorter version. And to help you write a good summary, this is a way to remember how to make a good summary. So we're going to do S, W, B, S, T. You'll see me abbreviate it like that later. S, W, B, S, T. And that stands for somebody wanted, but, so, then. And if you're telling a story like A Bad Case of Stripes for this year, the somebody, who do you think the somebody would be? Yeah, it's going to be your main character, Camilla Cream. And you're going to think about, what did Camilla Cream want? But then what happened? And then so what's next? And then finally at the end of the story. So it's a good way, and you see this hand on there for a reason. There are 5 words up there to go along with your 5 fingers. So when you're making a summary, think about the 5 things. Somebody, wanted, but, so, then. And if you get all 5 of those, then you probably have a pretty good summary of a story that you have read. So you could tell A Bad Case of Stripes. You could tell the summary to your brother or your sister or your cousin or your mom or your dad. And if they haven't read the story before, they would like a great summary of that story to know what it's all about. But you don't have to give them every single detail of the story to give a good summary, okay? We're going to practice this together so you know what it looks like. Somebody wanted, but, so, then. So I'm going to move this, and I'm going to take my dry erase board here. We're going to turn it this way. And I'm going to write those letters out. S, W, B, S, T, okay? And we know that S stands for somebody. Okay, and that's somebody in A Bad Case of Stripes. That's Camilla Cream. So that's what I'm going to write right here. Camilla Cream. Now think back in that story. What did Camilla Cream really want at the beginning of the story? Not at the end, but what did she want at the beginning of the story? Think about when she was picking her clothes out for the first day of school and nothing looked right. And even when she first got her stripes and her polka dots and all those crazy things, what did she really want? I think Camilla Cream really wanted to fit in. She kind of wanted to be like everybody else, right? So that would be the wanted. Wanted to fit in. So we've got Camilla Cream wanted to fit in. But what happened? But she case of stripes. That's the main thing of our story, right? Camilla Cream wanted to fit in, but she came down with a bad case of stripes. And that didn't exactly make her fit in, did it? In fact, she very much stood out from everybody with that. So what happened when she came down with a bad case of stripes? Thinking. Yeah, so this is just my idea. Is your summary have to be exactly like mine? Absolutely not. You could put it in your own words. And in fact, you should put it in your own words. This is my idea. It's a good way to somebody wanted but so then. But you might pick something different to put in the so, or maybe in the but, or maybe in the wanted, okay? Somebody pretty much has to stay the same. We're talking about Camilla Cream. So she had many people try to help her. Remember all those different people who tried to help her? She had doctors and veterinarians and psychiatrists and psychologists and all kinds of people who were trying to help her. Okay? Trying to help her. But they only... Whoops, I spelled that wrong. That's okay. If you make a mistake, you just fix it. They only made it worse. Right? All those people who were helping her, it didn't help her at all. It actually, every time someone did something to help, it actually made her worse. Then, so we could say, then an old lady gave Camilla lima beans and she was healed. I'll put an exclamation point for that because that's pretty exciting. And I'll say she, you can put more than one sentence in these, by the way, decided to be unique, and that's okay. It's okay to be a little different from other people, and no one is exactly the same. So I'm going to erase this word somebody because we're going to start by saying Camilla Cream. So let's read our summary. So if I were to describe this book to, I don't know, to my husband who hasn't read this story before, and he said, hey, what's A Bad Case of Stripes about? And I could say, well, it's about Camilla Cream. She wanted to fit in, but she came down with a bad case of stripes. So she had many people try to help her, but they only made it worse. But then an old lady gave Camilla lima beans, and she was healed, and she decided to be unique. Does that sound like a pretty good summary? I think it does. Okay, sounds just like and it's like a teaser. It's a way to get them to want to maybe read the book for themselves as well. All right, so now you've seen mine. Here's my copy. So now your job, you're going to fill one of these out on your own. So I've typed this up, and it has the title of the story, A Bad Case of Stripes, and it tells what skill we're working on. That's our learning target. I can write a summary. Shows a little picture of the cover of the book. Somebody wanted, but, so, then. Okay, so this is going to be uploaded to your Class Dojo student account. It's going to be on your student to-do list on Class Dojo. So you click on this assignment. It's going to be called A Bad Case of Stripes Summary. Click on this assignment, and then you are going to fill in these boxes. And you're going to click in this box, and it's going to open up a text box for you. Okay, a text box is an area where you're allowed to type inside of that. So you're going to type in the text box. What would you put for somebody? That one's going to be very easy. Yeah, Camilla Cream. Okay. You can ask mom and dad to help you spell it, or you can try to sound it out as best you can and type it the way you think it sounds. My rule is whenever it comes to spelling words that you don't know, as long as you get most of the sounds in the word that I can figure out what you were trying to type or say or write, then I will accept it. But if you, let's say you're writing, for example, the word chicken and you write CHN, is that enough sounds for me to figure out that that was supposed to be chicken? No, it certainly wasn't. So you have to sound it out and type all the sounds that you hear in that word. So I can try to figure out what you were trying to say. Now, if you don't spell it exactly perfectly, that's okay. But it should be enough where I can figure it out. So then after you've filled in the somebody section, and then you're going to click in the next box, and it should open up another text box for you. You're going to tell me what Camilla Cream wanted. Now, remember, I've already done one for you together on this video, but yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine. So you don't have to pause this video and use it to copy off of your teacher. You want to use your own brains because you're very smart. But you can use the ideas that we had here to let you get started. So my goal isn't for you to have to make it completely different from mine. You can use mine as a guide, but it shouldn't be exactly word for word what I have, because that's probably not how you were thinking about it, okay? So go ahead and complete your A Bad Case of Stripes summary on Class Dojo, and that will be the end of your reading work for today. All right, we'll see you again tomorrow with another reading lesson. Bye.